The corridor was quieter than usual. Most students had already left for the day. YN walked slowly, her bag resting on her shoulder, her mind still not entirely present. Noona, she paused just for a second, then turned. Jungkook stood there. Are you heading home? He asked. YN nodded slightly. Yes, a small pause. I'll walk till the gate, he said. Not asking, not insisting, just stating it simply. YN hesitated for a moment, then gave a small nod. Okay, they started walking. After a few seconds, Jungkook spoke again. Are you upset with me? YN paused for a second. Then, no. Jungkook glanced at her briefly. You don't have to avoid me, he said quietly. YN's step slowed, just slightly. I'm not, she replied. Calm, Jungkook didn't push. Noona, he said softly. You know how much I respect you. Right, a small pause. If something I did bothered you, you can tell me. YN looked ahead. Her grip tightened slightly on her bag. It's not that, she said, her voice gentle, controlled. I just need to focus right now. Jungkook nodded slowly, as if he had expected that answer. Okay, that okay felt final. They reached the gate. YN adjusted her bag. Bye. Jungkook stepped back slightly, giving her space. Bye, Noona. She turned and walked away. Jungkook stood there, watching her go. He didn't call her this time, didn't try to stop her, but his gaze lingered a little longer than usual. Then slowly, he looked away. YN walked past him, but the question stayed with her. Are you upset with me? Even after she answered, her grip slightly tightened on her bag. Am I? Her mind replayed his voice. Soft, careful. If something I did bothered you, you can tell me, was the problem. He didn't even realize it. Or maybe, he did. YN exhaled slowly, her pace slowing just a little. She wasn't angry. She wasn't uncomfortable. If anything, that made it worse. Because there was nothing wrong with him. He was respectful, careful, kind, too kind. Her thoughts drifted to the way he always waited, the way he noticed the smallest things. Her gaze dropped. If he had been careless, if he had crossed a line, she could have stopped him, clearly, easily, but he hadn't. He stayed just within the line, and somehow, that made everything harder. Because now the line wasn't visible anymore. YN closed her eyes for a brief moment. This isn't right, not because of him, but because of what it could become. Because she knew, if she didn't step back now, he wouldn't. He deserves clarity. The thought came, clear, honest, but just as quickly she pushed it away. Because clarity would mean saying it out loud, and saying it out loud would make it real. YN closed her eyes briefly. He'll understand on his own. That's what she told herself. That distance would be enough. That silence would be enough. That she wouldn't have to be the one to hurt him directly. But somewhere, deep down she knew, it wouldn't be that simple. Because avoiding the truth didn't make it disappear. It only delayed the moment it would hurt the most. Jungkook stood there for a moment, eyes still on the direction she had walked away. Then he exhaled slowly, looked down, adjusted his sleeve, like he was putting something back in place. Still trying, the voice came from behind. Jungkook didn't turn immediately. He already knew who it was. Josh. He stepped closer, hands in his pockets, that same careless confidence on his face. Didn't go well, he said lightly. Silence. Jungkook finally turned, his expression calm, unreadable. Josh tilted his head slightly. Or did she just not have time for you again? A faint smirk. Jungkook didn't react. She's avoiding you. Jungkook held his gaze. Steady. I told you before, Josh added, almost casually. You should know where you stand. Silence stretched between them. Then Josh leaned in slightly, close enough for his words to land clearly. Come to the farewell party tonight. A small pause. You'll understand. For a second, nothing moved. Jungkook didn't ask what he meant, didn't react the way Josh expected. He just looked at him, calm, unshaken, then said quietly, I already do. Josh's smirk faltered, just a little, but it came back quickly. Do you? He said, amused. Then come anyway. A beat. Let's see if you still feel the same after that. Jungkook didn't respond this time. He simply looked at him for a second longer, then turned and walked away. Josh watched him go, a slow smile forming on his face. Jimin adjusted his shirt, glancing at the entrance. Are you sure about this? Jungkook didn't answer immediately. His eyes were on the hall. What if they throw us out? Jimin added under his breath. Jungkook stepped forward. They won't. Jimin let out a quiet sigh. Right. Confidence. That always works. Jungkook finally spoke, voice calm. Josh invited me. Jimin paused. That doesn't sound good. Jungkook didn't respond. He just walked in. The hall was already alive when they arrived. Music echoed through the space. Laughter, chatter, movement. everything blurred into one loud, restless energy. Jimin glanced around. Impressed. Not bad, he muttered, but Jungkook didn't respond. His eyes were already searching. Not the crowd, not the stage, her, and then he found her across the room. YN stood near the center, surrounded by a few classmates, dressed simply, nothing loud, nothing that demanded attention. And yet, his eyes stopped there, like they always did. For a moment, everything else faded. The music, the voices, the movement, just her. As if sensing it, YN looked up. Their eyes met, and time paused. No words, no expressions, just that 1 second too long to ignore, too short to hold on to. Then she looked away, not startled, not confused, just deliberate. Jungkook's gaze stayed on her for a moment longer, before he looked away too. Jimin followed his line of sight, then sighed quietly. He didn't say anything else. He didn't need to, because everything was already there. Someone tapped the mic. A ripple moved through the crowd. Heads turned. Josh stepped forward, confident, like he had been waiting for this moment. Can I have everyone's attention for a minute? The noise softened. Curiosity spread. Whispers. Jungkook's gaze lifted, instinctively, and then he saw her. Josh turned slightly, looking straight at YN. YN, can you please come here? Pause. People around her nudged lightly, teasing, encouraging. YN hesitated for a second, then stepped forward. Jungkook's fingers curled slightly at his side. Something felt wrong. Josh smiled, playing it perfectly. I wasn't planning to do this like this, he said, glancing around. But I guess some things are better said openly. A few whistles. Laughter. YN stood still, composed but quiet. Josh took a step closer. YN, you know that I like you. The crowd reacted instantly. Jungkook didn't. I know I didn't get the answer I wanted last time. A small pause, but I thought maybe things could be different now. A pause, then. YN, will you be my girlfriend? Silence fell, not complete but heavy enough. All eyes on her. YN didn't look at Josh. Her gaze drifted, just slightly, and found Jungkook, across the room. For a second, everything else disappeared. His expression didn't change, but his eyes, they were steady, waiting, not expecting, just there. 1,000 thoughts crossed her mind at once. His voice, his words. I like her, you don't have to avoid me. And then her own. If I don't step back now, he won't. Or maybe, a small, quiet part of her wouldn't want him to. Her fingers tightened slightly. This was the only way, to make it clear, to end it, before it went any further. YN looked away first, back at Josh. A small pause, then she nodded. Okay, the word was simple, quiet, but it echoed louder than the music. The crowd reacted instantly. Cheers, whispers, noise returning all at once. Josh smiled, satisfied, victorious. Jungkook didn't move, didn't react, just stood there, still, as if something inside him had paused and haven't started again yet. Jimin glanced at him, concern flickering across his face. Hey, he started, but Jungkook didn't hear him. His eyes were still on her. Even now, she didn't look back. The music shifted again, slower this time, softer. Couples started moving toward the center. The noise dimmed into something quieter, more intimate. YN stood near the side, people still coming up to her, congratulating, teasing. She smiled politely, nodded, answered, but her eyes, they weren't really there. Can I? The voice came from behind. She didn't need to turn to know who it was. Her fingers stilled slightly. Jungkook. She turned. He stood there, calm, like always, not angry, not hurt. And somehow, that made it worse. Her eyes fell to his hand. For a second, she thought about saying no. She should have, but instead, she slowly placed her hand in his. His fingers closed around hers. Not tight, not loose, just enough. They moved to the floor, not too close, not too far. Careful, like both of them were aware of something fragile between them. The music slowed. Their steps matched. Her hand rested lightly in his. His other hand hovered at her waist, hesitating for a fraction of a second before settling there. Even that small touch felt louder than the music. Her breath faltered. His thumb shifted slightly against her fingers, a barely there movement, but